Vaguely Anime Podcast. I am one of the fellow weeb hosts of the Weeb Cateers. Is that what you
Weeb
named the
Hour?
last episode?
The Weeb Cateers, yeah, like
Yeah,
Three
alright,
mighty
sure.
Weeb Cateers?
I kind of hate it, but I also like it.
it was literally the first thing that came to my mind, and nobody said anything about it, so we stuck with
Why
it.
not Weeb Squad?
Weeb squared.
No, there's only 3 of us, you
Weeb
idiot.
cubed. Cube Weeb. Anyway, I am Michael. Hey, how you doing, Sage?
I'm good, and I'm Sage.
Yeah.
Great.
We know that. I'm asking how you doing.
I'm okay.
All right. How you doing, Colin?
Yeah, pretty good.
Cool.
Can't
how's,
complain.
How's new job?
New job's good. It's further than my old job, so now we have to record late, but
Rip.
Yeah.
is what it is.
See, this is called conversation. I tried doing that, and you were just giving me nothing. So
well,
I
I
moved
thought
on.
usually we say our own names.
So I moved on. You lost your chance.
Michael, you change it every time.
You really do.
It's been like 18 episodes.
Well, I tried doing the conversational thing again, but then I fucked it up, whatever episode that was. So then
do
I
you
just
just
moved
like
on.
panic every time where you're like, I have
No.
something in my head, and then we record and you're like, fuck.
It's not panic. It's I go to say the thing, and it just leaves my brain. Like,
Exits.
yeah, like I'm like, all right, cool. I got it. Welcome to
Like
Vaguely
you can barely
Anime.
get to the hi, welcome to Vaguely Anime every time you're like, oh, hi.
Yeah. Anyway, as you can tell, the non-titular deep weeb people are not here, so it's only the deep weebs.
Yeah, those traitors.
Yeah. They don't speak deep.
No.
That's for the D&D nerds.
I feel like Kat's getting there though.
Yeah,
She-
she's like moderate weeb now.
Yeah.
No, look, I've told Mike this. Like, we had a whole conversation about it. The second she said to me, "This is my favorite anime. You need to watch it," and she gave us the Future Diaries.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, she's a weeb. She's a weeb now."
Also,
That's
the
it.
statue she bought. I think that, if anything, solidified it.
She has like what? She got like $1,200 worth of statues in a month,
$400+ statues.
Jesus
on top
Christ.
of another $100 of My Hero statues.
Yeah. And would Genshin be considered weeb or not?
Yes.
Weeb
I think so.
adjacent?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Weeb adjacent.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm really upset she's not here today because the Genshin Impact first anniversary is happening, and it is a shit show.
Oh,
Oh, yeah?
no.
Yeah.
Like how so?
So usually when gacha games have like their anniversaries, it's the biggest event of the year, and they give you a ton of rewards, and they add like a ton of content to the game as like, you know, incentives to come and play during this big celebration. And it's like, okay, you're gonna get a couple of free summons worth of currency, and Genshin apparently was just like the most bare minimum.
Were they just like,
nothing.
go fuck yourselves?
Yeah.
Like they
Oof.
didn't even offer anything.
Oh, it like they give you something, but my understanding is it was like
Not
Yeah,
worth
So
it.
No.
like in terms of like they didn't give a shit about their own 1-year anniversary, or they didn't give a shit about making it easier for people to like gifting people stuff.
yeah, gifting people
Okay,
stuff.
so
They
there
don't
were
want
still stuff.
Yeah.
They just didn't gift people.
No,
things.
fuck you, pay money is the
Okay.
general idea. Like, for comparison, Dokkan just had their anniversary, and I got, like, 16 summons, 16 multi-summons for free worth of currency.
I assume that's a lot.
Yes.
Okay.
That's, like, I don't know, like 2-3 months of not summoning in the game
Gotcha.
to earn just by playing. And also, that's not even to mention that it's, like, every 4th summon is free, so I add that on top of it.
Neato.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The only thing I really know about Genshin is Mona, and I just send
Pictures of her butt.
yeah, me and Kat just send pictures of Mona's ass to each other.
Very classy.
I've started just every time I see one, just sending it to Kat, too.
Yeah, the one you sent to both of us. First of all, you sent it to the wrong Twitter.
Oh.
Second, the one you sent, me and Kat both messaged to it, because I sent it to her later, and she was like, "That one's not even hot. What is this shit?"
It's like I don't have Genshin on my timeline that much, and it's
Get
just
roasted.
I see some Genshin, and I'm like, oh yeah, the butt's kind of there. Let's use this.
I think I really only have it because I share those pictures with Kat, and so then
yeah.
the algorithm's like, let's push
now
Mona.
you want everything.
Yeah, so I really only see Mona, but you know, I'm not complaining. She thick, bruh.
Is that the one that's like canonically so thick she killed a monster?
I don't remember if that's
Oh,
her
which
or
one
a
is
different one.
that?
I think it might be a different one.
I also think that might be a different one.
But like Mona got a dump truck. That shit's backing up. You're hearing the beep and everything.
Stop it. Like Samus?
Samus don't have a dump truck.
What? Samus got booty?
Yo,
Zero Suit Samus?
Zero Suit Samus be fucking banging, but like she don't got a dump truck.
She's got a pretty good booty,
She's
though.
got a
but
good
like
ass
not
booty.
dump truck level.
Look at that butt.
I mean, that's just a suit.
Okay, but like you can understand the proportions of the butt.
Is he going for? Oh, I do have zero suit.
Look at that. Look at that. Would you not? Okay, you're gonna tell me that's a bad butt?
I'm not
I
saying it
never
was
said
bad.
that. I agreed with
never said
you.
it was bad.
I think proportionally.
All I said was that it's not a
kind
dump
of
truck.
By the way,
dump
it's
trucky. Dump truck light. Recycling bin.
Diet dump truck.
That's why it's the recycling bin.
Why is that our bit?
I don't know.
Our
I don't
bit
know
is-
when that started, but
It's just going dump truck 0, dump truck light, dump truck adjacent,
diet.
diet. I don't know why we cycle.
I
through
don't know
those.
that.
It was Ganyu is the character.
Okay, yeah, I
That's the
didn't
one
think it was
that
Momo.
like choked a monster.
Yeah.
Yeah, tried
Neat.
to eat her, and then it was like, ah, shit, this shit too thick.
Chomp, chomp, motherfucker.
Yeah, I just googled which Genshin character killed a monster with her ass.
I like
It
that
worked.
it gave you a result too.
First answer was correct.
I don't think Yugi could choke anybody with his ass.
No, he's such
looking-
a scrawny little.
He's looking kind of
Nah,
flat
you-
there.
you don't got shit, bro.
He's a twunk.
He is a twunk. Do you think Seto Kaiba has a big ass?
You can't tell because of that goddamn jacket. I want to know.
I know. And even season
Nah, he's too
one,
much of a bitch. He don't
even
got a dump
season
truck.
one Kaiba, you can't see it because he has a different jacket on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No, but you see him in the pants, don't you?
You see him in
Like
the
the
school
school
uniform in like
uniform?
season 0.
Yeah, but you don't really see like, you don't get a good gist of the booty. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just kind
Like
of.
I feel like Merrick and Bakura, you see more booty.
Oh,
Action.
you absolutely
Definitely
do.
with Merrick with his little crop top
Oh,
and
yeah.
the like low res jeans.
Mm-hmm. And when Merrick pulls
Low
his shirt off,
rise. They said
summon
low
Ra.
res jeans.
Yeah,
and I
low
was
res
like,
jeans. The jeans are just like
pixels.
I was like, bro, I want to buy
Pixelated.
low res jeans.
everything else is like 480p and just the jeans is like 144p.
I want to own those.
Could you
They're just-
imagine?
everybody looks at it as like, does he have an ass? Does he not have an ass?
They
I don't know.
They look at you and they're like, why is he slightly blurry?
They look at it and it's like, is his ass censored?
Am I having a stroke?
Ass so big, it gotta be censored.
No.
Ass too big, it can't be in 4K.
Can't be in 4K. They can't catch you in 4K.
Not enough pixels.
Oh, good lord. What is 4K though? Like
It is
that
4,000 pixels per square centimeter.
That's a lot.
It's square something.
Okay.
I don't remember exactly though.
I don't know if I'm just dumb, but I
It might
feel
be
like
even smaller.
anything over like especially on like a computer, anything over like 180p just looks the same as 180p.
There is a difference, and I'm a video editor, and I should say that there's a difference, but boy, can I really not tell all that much, especially between like 30 and 60 frames. I honestly can't tell.
It's 60 frames and 30 frames. It really depends on the content for me of whether I can see I can definitely see it in like, you know how for a while they were shooting some TV in like sitcoms in that 60 FPS and it just looked awkward. It looked like a home movie almost.
Yes.
I know I've
Yeah, I
noticed
could
it
notice
in a movie
that.
before, because I don't remember what the movie was now. There was a movie that I saw that was like in 60 frames, and it was like weird.
I just saw
Like-
a movie that used 60 frames for the first time.
I don't remember what
The
it was
Matrix.
The original?
Yeah.
That was in
Oh.
60 frames.
No, the slow-mo action scene, it was shot in 60 frames.
Oh yeah. Okay. Also, what's 4K? Was that right? Was that wrong? I think I'm wrong.
I'm not seeing like that immediate answer as soon as
How many
could-
pixels?
it's approximately at least 8 million active pixels
in
Right,
in like
okay, but-
what?
But
in
like
like the display.
Oh, so like the parameter doesn't matter?
I believe 4K is the amount of pixels in a square something. I just don't
Is it
remember
square
what
inch or
square.
square
what's the
centimeter?
typical thing that they use for that measurement? Square inch or square centimeter?
That's what I can't remember.
Oh,
That's what I'm trying to say.
I understand.
It might be square inch, but that just sounded too big to me.
That does sound but squared centimeter I feel like is kind of small.
I mean, pixels are pretty fucking small.
I guess that's true.
They're a pixel. So like,
I guess that's true.
but I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe it is an inch. I don't know. But I'm pretty sure each number is how many pixels within a square, whatever the fuck the measurement is.
Right. That's a lot.
I can't wait to be wrong. But yeah.
I just feel like I know,
And then everyone says like eyes are like 32K or something.
like you know when you go into like Best Buy
16.
and they have all the like TVs
Yeah.
going.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, something about that just feels wrong to me. Everything is just so sharp and clear and bright that I'm like, this feels incorrect. You know what I mean? Like, I know I'm looking at a screen.
Absolutely.
Like-
I
like
have no idea what you're talking about.
I'm not sure either.
No. Like they'll have like the like images of flowers and birds and bullshit like that.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
But it's
Right.
so vivid that I know that what I'm looking at is like way more saturated and like
Oh.
more perfect, I guess is the word.
Yeah, like
than
they touched it
my
up.
own eyes could see.
Yeah.
And that bothers me.
Well, no, because TV's goals are to get it as close to what you see as possible. The only difference.
Okay, well they do too good of a job.
The only difference is the older you get as a person, the less color you see, and so that's why life seems a little more drab the older you get. There's actually a period in time, which is why like memories as a kid, everything seems brighter and happier, specifically because the way you see the world is actually brighter than you
allow
are when
in,
you get to a
like,
certain point.
your
I don't
what is
remember the
it?
exact science behind it, but it's basically that you perceive more as a younger person than you do as an older person. You start perceiving less, kind of like how when you get older, you
perceiving
you hear,
like your brain or your eyes
Well, your
are
eyes.
are diminishing in like
I mean, I guess both.
what's it
But
cones and rays?
Yeah,
Is
but
that what's in the eyes for
uh,
color?
it's not rays, it's cones and
Cones and something else.
yeah.
Cones,
But
like, what the fuck?
It's
don't know these
It's
things.
the same thing as like you remember when you were a kid and someone was like, "Hey, can you hear this noise?" And then you put it up to your parents' ears and they couldn't hear it. That like
No.
super high pitched noise.
Yeah,
Colin, do
the
you know what I'm talking
mosquito.
about?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
okay. Like it's the same idea that like the older you get, you can't perceive certain things.
Oh.
So that's why like
I
as
think
a kid,
perceive is the wrong word.
no,
Perceive is the wrong word.
Perceive is like how you understand something,
I guess. All right.
opposed
You
to
can't
physical ability.
experience-
No, it's a physical. You cannot
ability
hear
to
those
do
frequencies at a certain point because your ears
Yeah, but you can no
degrade
longer
a bit.
perceive it. That would
That's-
be accurate.
something. No,
No.
because it's not about understanding.
I don't
It's-
think
it's-
perceiving is understanding.
It is. Well, can you look up the definition of perceive, please?
I'm drying my hand.
Drying my hand.
Yeah, I just opened a
Drying my
beer. It's got
hand.
condensation.
There's cum on his hand.
Look, you don't have to call me out like that to the audio listeners. They don't need to know. They don't watch the
That's
video.
for the
They don't
video
see what
people
I'm
to
doing.
know.
Video people pay a premium on our OnlyFans for this.
Oh yes, they do.
Hell yeah, they do. What was I Googling again?
The definition of perceive, please and thank you. Because this is very
Because
important.
like if something's invisible, you don't perceive it.
Become aware or conscious of something. Come to realize or understand. It is also how you interpret or look on someone or something in a particular way, regarded as.
It did mention in the first one that what I was saying. Though.
No.
It did. To
No.
see what read the first one again.
Become aware or conscious of something.
Yeah, okay. So if you can't become aware of it, you can't perceive it.
So anyways,
That's not wrong.
I mean,
You're not aware of it, so thus you can't perceive it.
but it's still
yes,
like
but
awkwardly.
the way that people use the word perceive is not used in the context that you're using.
Okay, but my way isn't inaccurate.
I guess so.
I'm not fighting about this.
But
I hate fighting with Mike.
But it wasn't wrong.
No,
but
because
you weren't right either.
I'll take
You're
it.
you're like
I'll take the middle ground of morally gray.
you're like a lawyer who's arguing. Look,
And
Mike
now,
might kill
a
this
message
person, but they had a
from our
really
resident
good
English
reason to.
major.
Look,
That's
technically,
literally
Hi.
the
No,
defense for
no,
Jojo
perceive is
Harris.
absolutely the right
Her
word.
Attorney.
I have absolutely
Warning
no
her
idea what
was
these two are
like,
talking about or what word
look,
they think you
we're
should
not-
be
Do we know
using.
what she's
They
talking
don't
about
seem
right
to
now?
know
We're not
either.
saying that she did
But
not kill
this
this
whole
man.
conversation makes me want to eat
But
all
she
of
had
my
a good
degrees.
reason.
Like,
Self-defense.
I can't believe the
It was
public
self-defense.
education system has
Look, it was
failed
self-defense. I
all
was
of you
coming at
this much.
casually
It-
with a knife and a gun,
Perceive.
screaming, "I'm gonna kill you," and
Literally,
punched
he
me in the
says
face.
the
So I fucking
actual
defended myself.
definition and they still don't.
That-
Yeah, Mike's right. Colin and Sage are wrong. I'm going to, like, blend a dictionary into a smoothie and force feed all of you. Jesus Christ. Is this your brain on anime? Is this what it does to you? Does it take away your ability to understand basic words? I can't deal with this. All of you are disgraces. Mike is absolutely correct about what the word perceive means. Go read a book.
you just kind of fucking try to be cognizant of it.
Dude, finger injuries are the worst. Like, that's when you learn how connected to fingers everything is.
Yeah, that's when you realize, wow, this is a huge inconvenience.
I may have heard fingering.
I
issue.
also heard
Alright,
fingering.
cool.
And I was just like, I know he didn't say that, and I'm not going to think that he said that. And then Mike brought it up, and I was like, I wasn't the only one.
No, the video people will see me just start laughing when I hear him say it.
Fingering injuries.
So
I am
I
the
got
most
this finger.
childish person ever. I fucking all those thoughts come into my brain.
This fingering injury I got the other day. No, but
Just going
like,
too hard, man.
Well, one time I slammed my middle finger in the door when I was a kid, and I had to get stitches on it. And it was
Was that
the
in
bone
8th grade?
Yeah, the bone was crushed and everything. It sucked.
Oof.
So like when it's split open, I learned that there's like all this line all the way up your arm that if you move your arm in the right way, you can feel this pull, tug all the way there and rip it fucking open again.
Yeah.
It's not fun.
Well, it's the same with like when I broke my collarbone 30 times. Like
Just
it
30?
I think it was actually like 5. I think I broke my collarbone like 5 times. It never fully healed every time, and then something would happen that would like re-break it as it was
Right.
slightly healing.
Like it would be left with like like a hairline fracture in it.
Yeah, like it would start healing and it would break again.
Foolish mortal.
Oh god, I still remember because when I did break it, it was still like connected, like it was in the line.
Mhm.
Most times when you break the collarbone, it like splits and it'll sit on top of it.
Yeah.
And that didn't happen when I broke it. And they were like, all right, you're good. Like it'll heal pretty good. You won't have a bump or any of that shit. The bump doesn't matter. It doesn't do anything. It'll heal fine, but like you'll just see it. And then in the hotel, in the airport back from the trip we were on when I broke it, I went to go like help my dad grab our like fucking luggage and shit, and I accidentally knocked over like the skis or whatever because we were snowboarding. And I accidentally knocked him over, and just out of reflex, I went to move my arm to catch him, and I moved it forward, and the bone moved and sat on top of it.
Oh.
And literally, my dad said like he saw like all the veins in my neck and muscles just seize, and I just fell to the ground because my body just couldn't handle the pain,
Yeah.
and it just stopped working. I literally fell onto the ground, and I was like, and I was in so much pain. But my uncle was driving us home, and I didn't want to be like a bitch in front of him. So I was sitting there in the entire drive home, just in immense pain, not making any noise. And then he was like, all right, cool, thanks. And we got out of the car, and he drove away. And as he drove away, I just started screaming from the amount of pain I was in.
Wait, why can you not be a little bitch in front of your uncle? Is he gonna
Toxic
turn around and
masculinity.
be like, your boy's a pussy? I'm gonna take that as a yes.
No, it's
Sage?
a different reason than
Toxic masculinity.
And yeah, so I remember that. That wasn't fun. Then it broke like fucking 5 more times.
Good one.
I was in that cast for fucking ever. The sling. I wasn't in a cast.
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
They usually wouldn't give you a cast for that.
Also, getting you don't realize how annoying. Like the same thing. What I was trying to get to is like how many things connect to other things. Like just like leaning up out of bed, you start feeling the strain of the muscle there. Like when you never feel it otherwise. It's kind of the worst.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So we're the veteran weebs. We should probably.
Talk about anime.
Probably.
probably.
That might be good.
What was a classic? What was a one you watched that was like a 90s anime playing on early 2000s TV you really liked?
Speaking of 90s anime,
Okay.
Oh god.
Fuck you.
Cowboy Bebop live action anime trailer.
You look more excited than you
I'm
seemed
not.
to me.
I segued cool into that. It's a 90s anime that we can talk about and also talk about the trailer.
Okay.
I don't think I watched
Fucking
the
nailed
trailer. I just saw those
The like
Screens?
side by sides.
screenshots that Colin sent me.
I thought I sent you the whole thing.
You
No,
probably
I
did.
thought you just sent me the images because I just saw like 4 separate panels. It wasn't like a video.
I bet there was a link in the thing to go watch it.
I'm fairly positive I sent you the link. I could be wrong,
Oh,
Anyway, I'd say watch it real quick, but and then like cut it, and then I could cut it out. But
but no,
we're
we'll
not
just
gonna do
we'll
that.
just
Okay, so anyway,
I'll just put the visuals on mute for her.
yeah, that
oh
works.
yeah, that's fine.
Because it's just Tank.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then, so while you watch it, we'll talk. And
Okay,
Then, and then by
okay.
the time we're done,
And then
you'll
I'll
probably
be
done.
educated.
Yeah, yeah.
And I can make a
Um,
educated opinion.
I'll just keep talking until you pull it up. So, my immediate reaction to watching it was like, it did not give me the hope I wanted, but it didn't take away any of the hope that I wanted.
I think a lot of people have been pretty negative about it. Personally, I think it looks like really solid. It's very it's so true to what it originally was. Like, it looks exactly like it in a way, which is definitely awkward in certain ways, because it's like certain things are definitely not as good looking as they are in animation.
There's a reason that you shouldn't one-to-one things sometimes.
Yeah.
Also, I'm sorry,
that scene is so stupid.
that
I don't
running
like that shot.
in the
It's not
beginning
very
was
kinetic.
really goofy.
Right? Also, Faye just standing there and being like,
Yeah, because these are things that like look good in animation but don't really work as well in practice.
I don't even think that's a scene in the animation.
What, him running?
No, Faye just standing there.
Oh, okay.
Like-
Well, I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about the running.
Yeah, the running, 100%. It feels like, because Alex said this, and I felt the same. Like, it kind of feels like a fan film.
In certain regards, yeah, because it just looks like that.
You know what I think?
It doesn't instill me with confidence, but it doesn't get rid of my hope.
I think the problem with this
That scene is pretty, though.
is this kind of melding of styles doesn't read very well,
Also, R.I.P. Ed.
and I think a lot of the movement feels weirdly static for humans.
I will say, though, like, Spike's little freaking kickflip thing.
It does look good. I actually think it would have been much more rewarding
It's not
for
kinetic.
them to do, like, so you see how it's like the silhouettes and they have it like blacked out. If they did all of that, left all of the other scenes where it's just like hands and actions, but we never see their faces, and then the end you get like the face reveal. Does that make sense?
No.
Because I just think it looks kind of awkward.
It
It's-
feels like a slightly high budget fan film.
Look, they're trying to do like one-to-one to animation, which they really shouldn't do. But I think Netflix is at the point where they're like, okay, we fucked this up. Looks over at a fucking pile of dead bodies that many times. The fans seem to want the exact thing, so let's make the exact thing.
Yeah, I can definitely understand what they were trying to do. Okay, so this is what I saw originally that Colin showed me.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, that was just a picture of the link to the video.
no, it was 4 separate pictures though, is what I saw.
Also, she's talking about the like the end shot with Spike, Faye, and Jet all in
Yeah.
the different colors before it fades to black.
I also saw so many people bitching that Ed wasn't in it, and I'm just like, do you guys remember the show? Like, Ed doesn't get introduced for a while.
100%.
Like, they're not like, oh my god, they're not putting Ed in the first season. Yeah, no
The first
shit.
season doesn't get to the part where
No-
Ed is.
Yeah, like, you gotta acknowledge that Ed takes a while to get introduced, and that's just how the story went.
I wonder
Yeah.
who the hell they're gonna cast as Ed.
I like how the story slowly grows the cast.
But sorry, Mike.
Go ahead.
What I really like about these images is the one with Jet with the shadowing, because this is where this kind of hard silhouette to realistic person to these kind of color blocked backgrounds works really well, because they transition into each other and kind of lay on top of each other really nicely. Whereas when you have the image of Spike where you have the hard silhouette of his hair, which doesn't look like it's attached to him, and I think that's my biggest problem here. It's just kind of floating because it's so dark, but the rest of him is really light. Like his face, his hand, and then like his torso. There's so much lightness going on that it doesn't balance at all. Whereas in like Jet's one, it's 50% darkness with the 50% light.
Mm-hmm.
So it just melds much better. But this is just like, this has, even though he's just standing there, a lot more motion in the image. Whereas this one, even though he's doing an action pose, he's really static.
I got nothing.
Art students, man.
Yeah, absolutely nothing. But like, my point overall is just it didn't make me give up. like it seemed to make some people, but it didn't make me be like, I am hyped. I'm just like,
I
I'm
think
still
I'll-
gonna watch it, and I am still slightly indifferent to whether or not if they pull it off or not. I want it to become good. It didn't instill me with hope, and it didn't take away it.
I think I'm gonna watch it, and I actually want to watch it with a critical eye of like, let me see what's good instead of going into it thinking it's gonna be bad. You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm gonna watch
Like
it
I'm gonna
regardless
give it
for
a
the
fair
jazz.
a fair chance.
I'm gonna watch it regardless for more jazz because it's the seatbelts, and I fucking love the seatbelts. So like,
Or are you gonna like, if you do watch it, are you gonna watch it with the lens of knowing like, in the back of your mind thinking of like the original animation?
I'm gonna try to keep it pretty separate. I want to just see how it does.
Yeah, see how they pull it
Because
off.
I don't think you could ever watch an anime movie or like a live action anime thing and go into it being like, oh boy, I can't wait to see them do this thing, and because it doesn't work.
What are you
It's-
talking about? That's how I watched Death Note.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what a masterpiece
Yeah.
of a film.
That's how we watched Death Note. Remember, Sage?
No, we watched
Absolute
Death Note blacked
masterpiece.
out. Come on now.
No, we blacked out during Death Note. Get it right.
But
we
like-
went in with a couple drinks in, and then we just kept drinking.
Yeah. I just think the main problem, I guess, with going to live action, especially with a medium like anime, is because it's anime and you're drawing it and you're creating this world, there's really no limitation to what you can do or
Yeah,
what
'cause you
kind
can
of
give exaggerated
visuals-
human looks without it
Yeah.
being like it looks weird.
there's no limitations to visuals or kind of world building or things like that. So there's a lot of like charm and character and magic that kind of like comes from it that I think in real life it's very, very hard to replicate
I
that
think
same kind of feeling.
I think animation lends to a sense of creativity that literally cannot be made any other way.
Yeah.
Like CGI can do a lot, but CGI cannot be the same at least to me as animation in terms of
Not yet.
expression and
yeah, not yet for sure.
Well, but I feel like it's
But-
also because CGI is pretty inherently into a photoreal look.
That's not
That-
true. Look at
I
that.
mean-
Look at that Loop in the Third movie. Look at the recent one.
Well, yeah, but that's 3D animation. And
That's still kind of
Oh,
CGI.
I think do you mean in like a live action
Oh,
movie?
you mean-
yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah.
okay.
Oh, okay.
I mean, in terms of like a live action movie, even with CGI, it can't reach the same level of like expression. It can get close.
I
I
think
would-
it depends.
I would-
I think it depends. I
Yeah.
think it really is like, because if you try to just throw the CGI thing in there, then you end up with Jar Jar Binks, and it just looks incredibly fake and incredibly obvious it's not there.
My brain went to Alita, which gets pretty close,
I didn't see that one.
Oh, I think that looks pretty good. You know what?
but it's not as expressive still.
I just watched Shang-Chi, and the CGI that they have in it, I'm not talking like the monsters and the dragon. I don't know if you guys saw it. Sorry.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Spoilers. It's been out for like 2 months now, so you guys had a chance. But did you watch it?
Yeah.
Okay. But I
We
thought
both saw it.
okay. I thought especially in that scene where
Remember, you were supposed to go with us.
oh
Call her out.
whatever. But the scene where the dad first meets the mom and they're like having that fight but dancing at the same time and she's kind of airbending, I literally turned to Mark and I was like, Shyamalan could never.
Well, yeah, she was doing. Oh fuck, I'm spacing on what it's called. She was performing a specific film arts, martial art, versus him, who was more grounded.
Yeah,
real
yeah, yeah.
martial
No,
art.
I understand what was happening, but I thought the
I need to
way
look up what it's called now.
they did that and how it looked with like the movement and the expression and just like the way that you like, I guess, felt the wind essentially.
Yeah.
Like it had a lot of life to it. It didn't just feel like, oh, this is a breeze. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I
When-
think that gets pretty close to like that same magic that Mike was talking about.
Yeah. I guess minor Shang-Chi spoiler here, but like when that was happening, I was sitting next to Alex and he turns to me and he's like,
Wushu.
"Are they gonna fuck?" And I was like, "I think so."
I think so.
And then later in the movie, Shang-Chi starts doing the exact same fight dance
With
with
the
his
ant.
father
And his aunt.
and his aunt, and and it's like the exact same like moments start to go and they start to do the dance, and me and Alex just turn to each other and we both look at each other at the same time. We're like, are they gonna fuck?
Yeah, it was
I don't want to. That's
Oh, also, my idiot ass, when I first sat down to watch it, I was getting the trailer of that and, what's the new, G.I. Joe one? Like, Cobra, I
Snake
think it's
Eyes.
called?
Snake
Snake
Eyes.
Eyes, thank you. I was just getting those two trailers mixed up in my brain.
I need to see Snake Eyes.
I need to see it too, but I was just like, I'm confused. Because, like, half of that trailer was in my brain, so I thought he was gonna be, like, doing some like shade underground shit in like the opening of the movie, and then I was like, wait, he's just a valet? What the fuck?
So anyway,
I never got to say my opinions on this.
Oh, sorry,
yeah,
Colin, go for it.
I actually really like how it looks. I think a lot of people have been giving it shit, but I actually really like, because I like how a lot of the practical stuff that they're doing to kind of make these costumes and stuff come to life. Like this scene specifically when the I forget what they're called, but the squid guys were robbing all the casinos.
Mm-hmm.
I really like how that looks, and I'm excited to see like how this is gonna play out in live action. Like overall, it could still be bad, but I think it's got a pretty solid chance here.
Wow.
And yeah, I think it's just a lot of like the practical visuals really have me, because that's like where my weakness for things like that.
Like, I think you're correct in that this does look really good, but
you guys got to be specific. We can't show
What-
it on the
The
screen.
the squid guys robbing the casino scene.
yeah, where they're, guns up in the air, like popping off. I think this looks really good because one, this shot is very interesting, and it's not doing that thing where other shots are blending the two starkly different styles. This is a very obviously just, this is realistic, this is live action.
Yeah,
I think that's why this looks so good.
So I'm staying like pretty
Art students.
cautiously optimistic in getting into this series when it does drop. When is it? Come November? Yeah, November 19th.
How long? I feel like it's been in the works for a really long time, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, it's also because oh shit, I'm forgetting his name. I want to say John Cho, but I think that's wrong. Was injured during filming.
Oh,
Yeah, John
yeah,
Cho.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
John
yeah.
Cho?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was, and I was
Yes,
like,
I
it feels
do.
wrong.
I do remember that actually. That was like
And then
a
COVID
year or
hit.
two ago.
Yeah, and then COVID hit,
Yeah.
so then it extended it even longer.
Okay,
So like,
yeah. That makes sense then.
but
Also, weren't they originally saying it was going to be Keanu Reeves? Like a long, long time ago.
oh, that was like forever
Like
ago.
like at least 15 years ago.
Yeah, that was like a whole different thing.
I would have paid so much money to see Keanu Reeves as,
Oh my
as
god.
Spike.
Yeah, like I said, I just watched The Matrix for the first time.
I should
For
probably
the
watch it.
first time?
First time.
Really?
Yeah. I've never seen The Matrix. I watched it for the first time. You know what? Anthony never seen The Matrix. We watched it together.
Wow. I watched The Matrix when I was a kid, and then I
What-
got really
what,
scared.
Together or like around the internet?
Oh, together. We were hanging out with Eamon. You were working. Don't even start.
Have you never seen The
I didn't
Matrix?
even get an offer.
Yeah, get fucked.
Don't.
Wow, all right.
I
Yeah.
know when you work.
Yeah, you were getting cucked out here.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Not even an offer. I thought
Oh
we were
my
friends.
god.
It's okay, the boys never invite me to anything.
Well, yeah, but you're a girl.
We throw
Cooties.
I throw every invitation into the open group chat for everybody to come to.
You sure didn't do it for this?
Yeah, but this was different. Go fuck yourself.
That's
Anyway,
how it is.
go fuck yourself. You didn't get to watch The Matrix. The Matrix was amazing. Oh my god, where have they been hiding this movie from me? It's almost like everybody's been telling me to watch it for my entire life.
Just stop there. Just stop at one.
Just stop at one is what I was told. That's what I know. I'm giving it a couple weeks to like sit and really like, oh my god, that was amazing. And then we're gonna go watch the others.
I
So-
think I watched the second one and I fell asleep.
So, an interesting thing with me is, like sometimes, all right. So if it was a really, really long time ago and it was a particular set of bad, I just don't remember anything about it. Like I know I have watched
You just
The
wipe
Matrix
it,
2 and 3.
Wipe it from your hard
Yeah, yeah.
drive.
I know I've watched the second and third movies.
Okay.
Zero memory of like overall what goes on. I remember very specific scenes, but overall, no idea. I could probably go into that movie and it'd be like a fresh start.
You'd be like, wow, I never saw this.
Like literally, this is a slightly different case because I didn't think it was bad, but like I've been reading the 2014 Batman and Robin run, and
Mhm.
I remember basically nothing about it. I know I've read it, and I've been talking to Eamon about it. I remember basically zero.
Good one.
Like so many scenes. I was like, literally, it's like I'm reading this for the first time. I was like, I know I've read it, but sure don't remember these.
LOL.
They're like entire issues.
Good one.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I know a lot of the issues people had with The Matrix 2 was that it was confusing and they didn't know what was going on. Because if you didn't know, there's a canonical comic book in between the first Matrix movie and the second Matrix movie that you're supposed to read before you watch the second Matrix movie.
They
Hint.
are also just convoluted in general.
Well, yeah. I was getting there. There's
Okay.
a lot of different steps.
Also, there is one thing that I think everybody should check out, and it's the Animatrix.
Yeah, we were
Um,
planning on watching that.
Not all of them are good. Actually, most of them are not. But there is one particular one that is really cool. And I guess if you don't know anything about them, I won't say. But like,
I don't know anything.
I've seen like a couple shots from it. That's it.
there's a
I'm just
sprinter
here.
one. There's one about a
Yeah,
runner.
it was the Sprinter. That was the
the
like,
ru-
I've
the
seen
one about
shots
the
of it.
runner is the coolest fucking one in the entire thing.
Int.
So if anybody has never seen it, at the very least, just go watch the Animatrix of the story about the runner.
Can you pull that up? I just want to see the pictures.
Of yeah.
It's really cool. It's one of the coolest ones. Speaking of fucking animation companies doing shit about movies, Star Wars Visions came out. Did either of you watch anything of them?
Not a
No.
chance
I've
yet.
only watched the first three, which is one of them's by Trigger.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, the Trigger one was the kind of the least interesting.
Really?
It was pretty. I mean, it's Trigger.
Yeah.
But the least interesting.
Gotcha.
Um,
Why does this look like it
I
doesn't exist?
I just started watching Marvel's What If.
Oh, I need to watch that.
I'm like 2 episodes behind, I think.
That's
That's
I'm
the sprinter right there.
I'm 2 episodes in,
This one.
Yeah.
and it's
Gotta
good.
Go fast.
There's things about it I immediately wasn't very fond of, but
How
there's
far in are you?
2 episodes, so I've only seen Captain Carter and T'Challa as Star-Lord.
Okay, I think the third
Spoilers.
episode. I think it's the third is my favorite so
Okay.
far.
And then I know the 4th one is zombies. I
Okay,
think
then
the
yeah,
4th
the third.
one is zombies.
Then the third. The third one is I think by far the best
Well,
one. so-
what is it?
I didn't know if you wanted me to say.
Well, I mean the title is literally there.
It's Doctor Strange. It's about
Is it Spider-Man Doctor Strange? Okay.
it's just about Doctor Strange.
Okay.
And it's probably my favorite.
Okay.
It is a really interesting story and like a dive into the character's like psyche.
Yeah.
How long is each episode?
Like
22
average-
minutes.
Yeah, average TV. 22.
Oh.
Yeah.
For some reason, I was expecting them to be longer.
No, they were.
some of them are kind of hindered by.
I
their
think
length.
yeah.
Oh.
I was exactly about to say that like
Captain
Captain Carter was weak.
fucking fast. It's,
Captain
it's not
Carter
even
was
that good.
I was upset with how weak Captain Carter was, but it's because they're retelling the story of Captain America, the first Avenger, but with Peggy Carter as Captain Carter. But the problem is you're squeezing a 2-hour movie that you're retelling
20 minutes.
into 22 minutes.
Yeah,
The dialogue is so clunky and just like I the whole time I was sitting there I was like, oh, they really didn't get their A game on the script writers, and then it's like, oh no, they've got 22 minutes to tell this story.
Yeah.
It just some of them feel pretty rushed.
Because then you go to like the second episode is T'Challa as Star-Lord, and they just take the general start of Guardians of the Galaxy and they tell a completely different story, so it felt a whole lot less clunky.
That one felt
Right.
a lot stronger. I still didn't think it was anything to write home about.
It
Personally,
was much stronger. I was laughing a lot during it. I do think that there was one gag that got old incredibly quick.
But is
It was the
T'Challa still
character.
like
The guy that they meet in the very first scene.
Oh
Yeah, the one who
yes,
doesn't
yeah,
know who
yeah,
Star-Lord
yeah,
is
yeah, yeah,
initially
yeah, yeah.
in the Guardians movie.
Yes, and he knows him in this one.
Yeah, it was like at first I was like, oh, this is a funny gag, and then I was like, okay, this is old.
Marvel Zombies was also not super great.
I'm curious to see that because that was legitimately one of the first comic books I read. It was like first like 5 Marvel comics I read was Zombies, and I really liked it at the time. So I'm curious to see.
You ever read it
Okay, but
since?
how old?
Yeah.
Were you? How old were you when you liked it at the time?
Like 14.
I was gonna say.
Marvel
No,
Zombies
I read
is-
it again.
Because like I was gonna say, because some stories I've you see when you're a kid and then you watch them again, you're like, oof. I've had a few of those where I'm like, no, I still like these. Marvel Zombies not one of them. Marvel Zombies, I was like, this shit's rad, and then you read it again, and you're like,
Marvel Zombies not one of them. That's why I won't reread Civil War. That was
You liked that at one point?
yeah, when I was 12 and getting into comics.
I remember
That was the first. That was like the first thing I got. Besides, I have the first ever Marvel comic I have is actually over on that shelf. It's Spider-Man and the Fantastic Four. It's like a 4-issue run, and then after that, it was I got the Marvel app and I got the Civil War because it was like being promoted, and I was like, oh wow, this is a really cool story, and I've never read any comics before.
I think it was my high school. I think that had Civil War, like a book of it, and I remember reading it as a kid and being like, I don't get why they're fighting. Like I was like reading it, I was like, oh,
Did
like,
you not?
these fights are because I didn't like, even to me then the motivate, like them fighting for the reason they were fighting didn't make sense to me.
Oh, I thought it made good sense.
Sorry.
Like
It made
then,
perfect.
or you mean now?
Both, yeah. I think it makes perfect sense still.
No, they're so out of character.
No, that's the whole point of it. Is like the rules that you think they would be in there flipped, because truthfully, that's where they fall. Captain America's fighting for the freedom to continue to be a superhero as is. He's fighting for the freedom to keep your identity secret.
No,
keep
the reasons make sense in terms of like the very base thing, but like the way they act.
oh,
throughout it.
why they're literally fighting
Like
to
the
the death.
characterizations,
Like, they
and
literally-
stuff are really bad.
Like heroes literally die in that story.
Like I mean, like the characterization and everything of the characters is really bad.
Okay, I guess that's a little more. I don't know, because there was a lot of stuff that made sense. Like
Just
there,
as a kid, I remember reading it and being like, I don't understand.
nah, because there's like ways that like Tony Stark uses Peter Parker in ways that Peter doesn't realize until after, and he's like, where he realizes like he's never told anybody about his spider sense, and he's kept that a secret from everybody. That's just the power he has in the back of his, in his back pocket. Tony puts him at the front of a parade that he knew was going to be attacked, because he knew Spider-Man would react first, because he knew Spider-Man has some kind of special ability. So he put him there in harm's way specifically for that. And when Peter realizes that, he gets really fucking pissed off.
Yeah,
That sounds
Tony
appropriate.
Stark in the comics is honestly like a deplorable human being.
Yeah.
Oh.
He does some really god awful shit. At one point, I don't even remember the fucking story, but spoilers for some comic. I think it's like Avengers West Coast. At one point, Tony Heyman told me this once, walks up to Daredevil, and they start arguing, and he's like, hey Matt, you could see again.
Oh god.
Oh, I read this story.
And,
Yeah.
and Matt's like, what the fuck? Why would you do that?
No,
Oh
so
my God.
basically what happens is so it was I believe this was the Axis Inversion comics. So basically it was a big event. This was one of the events that ended up making me leave reading Marvel comics. I used to read them weekly. I would go to the comic book store, buy about 7 comics, and read them every week, and I loved it. But Marvel kept doing big events where it would change the entire stories of every story, because everything has to be in canon. And then they would do a big reset after because it sucked or something.
No, they've never done a reset.
They did some soft resets.
Yeah, but like everything is always still canon. The Marvel's universe is weirdly convolutedly bullshit.
I know. So
but
so
do
the
they do? Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah.
Do they do like multiverse then?
yes, there is
Yeah.
multiverse. Like they used to have the Ultimate Universe, so that was like a whole separate universe, so they could tell 2 different stories at once.
Right.
But the problem with the Ultimate Universe is the only thing that's good in it is Spider-Man.
But like DC, they'll do like not nationwide, but the fuck publication wide. I don't remember the exact word, but like where they completely reset the universe. Everything's new, fresh start.
right.
Marvel was like, we'll basically do that, but it's still in universe. So like all of the Marvel has always happened and always existed, which is really weird.
But now
But now
it's
nobody
different.
remembers.
But now it's different.
Yes.
Yeah, but DC
Oh,
does
that's
that. And
so
then,
dumb.
and then
That's why I stopped.
recently, in a recent event, DC was like, now everything's happened. And they're like, oh, okay, so now everything's bullshit. But, like, basically, nobody's really mentioned it since it happened. It's just, if they want to use it, they can.
All
If
right.
they don't, they don't.
So let me tell you this real quick.
Right.
So this was called the Axis event, where everyone got flipped off their axis
Jesus Christ.
morally. So, because
It already sounds so stupid.
because the Red Skull's trying to commit genocide on this island on the mutants.
Oh, yeah, let's...
And, like,
let's make
so-
our Nazi a good guy.
So no, he was not a good guy. Was he good?
Yeah,
again?
they made villains good people.
Oh yeah, no. So yeah, that
Red
was so.
Skull was
So
a good
basically,
person.
the X-Men are there fighting. The Avengers are there fighting. Some other people are there fighting. Some villains get called in to help, and everyone there gets their axes switched. So the Avengers are sitting there like, we gotta kill all the fucking mutants. These guys, these fucking muties. We gotta just fucking take them out, man. And the mutants are over there. The X-Men are like, we are the next step in evolution. Let's fucking kill everybody. That's genocide. Yeah, genocide. Team. And fucking Carnage is over here like, I have a conscience now. This is awful. I need to help people, but every time I try to help people, they scream and run away, and then I hurt somebody. What do? I'm going to go to Captain America. By the way, at this time, Nova introduces himself to Carnage. He takes off his helmet. He's like, hi, I'm XYZ, whatever his name is. And is like,
Jaime Reyes or
hi, no, that's Blue Beetle.
Oh,
Is it
the kid or the old guy?
The kid, because he's stupid, and he introduces himself to Carnage, and then right after the Axis event, Carnage comes and tries to kill his family. Fun time. And so like everybody gets flipped. Deadpool gets flipped. He's called Zenpool for a little while.
That's funny.
And the general thing was Tony Stark decides, I can be fucking God. I'm me. I'm Tony Stark. I can do whatever I want with technology. So I'm going to create an app that will literally make you look however you want. You can push a button and you're going to look gorgeous. You're going to be skinny. You're going to be hot. You're going to have the big old titties. You're going to have a dump truck ass. Yes, not just dump truck adjacent. It's going to be dump truck.
I have a question.
Yeah, what's up?
Now, this app physically changes you, or does it change the way people perceive you?
Fuck you.
Great.
Yeah, it's comics. Don't ask.
You don't ask, don't tell is the general thing with this.
It's like filters before filters.
Yeah, so everybody's having a great day. They're partying for the day that it's going. Everybody's like, Tony, we love it. Tony, we love it. And then they wake up the next morning after their drug-induced party, and everybody's ugly again. And Tony's like, haha.
Fucking gotcha.
And he's like, yeah, this is going to cost you about $400 a day. It is a subscription service that I am selling because you want to be beautiful, and fuck you, I want money. And
isn't Tony a billionaire though?
yeah, but he's evil now. So so get more money because billionaires want more money thing.
So he's Jeff Bezos.
He's Jeff Bezos. Yeah, he turns into Jeff Bezos with a brain. So then what's his name? Matt Murdock is like not switched on his axis. He's like, this is fucked up. I gotta go talk to Tony. So he goes. There's actually a really hilarious.
Wait, why doesn't he switch?
He wasn't there.
Oh,
it's only people that were present for the event.
So
I understand.
So he goes over to Tony and he's like, Tony, this really isn't cool. You really can't do this. It's not okay. And Tony's like, nah, actually, what he does is he sneaks into Tony's house while he's passed out after a party because he's been drinking. He gets back on the wagon because he's evil. There's just a scene of him picking up a glass of whiskey, going,
sorry.
Hello, old friend.
He got back on the wagon because he's evil.
Is he off the wagon? What's that phrase?
No, you got off the wagon. That's right.
No,
okay.
you're right.
Oh, okay, thank you.
He caught up to that wagon.
Yeah.
And after a year head start, he was like, hold up. Found that Budweiser horse-drawn wagon and was like, up me on.
So he literally breaks into his house. Some girl wakes up as he's lifting Tony up, and Matt Murdock just turns to her and he's like, this is a team-up thing. We do this all the time in the superhero biz. I'm just taking him on a mission. The girl goes, oh, that's so cool, and goes back to sleep. So he takes Tony to a basement. He's like, Tony,
broski,
this is fucked up. You really can't be doing this. And Tony's like, ha, ha, ha. You see, the thing is, I've been playing human. I'm a motherfucking god. And by the way, as his nanobot symbiote suit covers him, Repulsor blasts him in the face. He's like, I'm tired of fucking playing. And he's like, you're fucking using symbiotes now? He's like, yeah, I can control it. I'm smart enough. I won't get angry.
What the fuck? What's it called?
And
that armor is super rad, not gonna lie. Extremis?
I don't remember what it's called.
It's a really cool armor.
So so basically, like, Daredevil gets pissed off. He leaves, and when he wakes up the next day, he opens his eyes and he's like, because he can see.
Colin did a whole gag.
I did a visual gag.
He stood
Wait,
up.
why can he see?
Tony made him see.
Tony made him see. Tony used the app to fix his vision. So he goes back to Tony. He's like,
but
what the fuck?
But he didn't ask for that.
No.
Right.
He
He's
screams.
evil.
He's like, I didn't ask for this. He's like, I know. I gave it to you. I'm forcing it on you.
Ugh, that's horrible. Wait, also,
It's almost like he's evil.
There's a really sad scene as it's like fading off because Tony's like, it's not gonna last forever, and I'm doing this on purpose to fuck with you. And he goes
that's
and sees.
so cruel.
He goes to see his best friend, and he just walks up to him, and he doesn't tell him what's going on, and he's just talking to him. And as it's fading out, you can see his vision fade into like
Oh
the
my
sonar he sees, and it's just like a
God.
blob of a person in front of him. And he's like, "What's wrong, man?" He's like, "It's nothing."
He wanted to go see Foggy, his best friend's face, before he lost the vision. Because he's never saw Foggy.
So sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Iron Man's honestly kind of the worst in the
Wow,
comics.
What a dick bag.
Like, even with the Axis event, like, even not with the Axis event, Iron Man's just kind of shitty.
It depends on who's writing him.
Yeah, he does not have many good stories.
The problem was Iron Man wasn't like the Robert Downey Jr. Iron Man
Oh, yeah, he
until
was a D-list hero for the longest
Robert
time.
until Robert Downey Jr. like
Made him an
made him
A-list.
that.
yeah.
Yeah, Iron Man was like a C-list, a D-list hero for the longest time.
Now I have a question going back to about like multiverse and stuff like that, or
Yeah.
resetting the full universe.
Mm-hmm.
Does it really, I guess, matter if they choose to like make changes but be like everything that happened before is still, I guess, canon, but now it's different?
So, for Marvel, they're like, because they never fully reset. It's just kind of like a new
They-
start kind of
They,
thing.
they do and they don't is the problem.
The
Mm.
thing is, it's not a problem, but it's just
It's a problem.
annoying because for Marvel, it means every story in the universe, unless they've retconned it, is canon, which means every comic. So anything can be pulled on from any time, and like it makes a very condensed universe that doesn't really make sense, because it means that like Captain America was around during World War II, during Vietnam, during like the Korean War, during Afghanistan, like every war somehow, and he somehow keeps getting frozen and like stuff like that, where like it doesn't really
Oh.
make sense,
I understand.
but like you just don't think about it. They're just
Right.
like whatever.
right. Just
um,
don't look at it.
Yeah. So like it like that kind of stuff, where if like you actually start thinking about it, it doesn't really make sense. But they don't want to get rid of their history, so they keep it. Where like DC before
But
the
you
recent
don't
event.
need to get rid of it. It still exists. You don't have to throw it in the incinerator.
Well, what DC does is goes, hey, all those people that are new to comics, bam, all that history gone. Just pick up from number 1, read, you're good. Now, really, the best, if most people, if they ever ask how to get into comics, the best thing is just pick up a book. Go into a comic shop, see one that you find interesting, just pick it up and start reading. And if there's information that you don't know, it'll usually tell you.
Right.
What
They're
to
pretty good
read.
about that.
That's
Yeah.
what I was gonna say.
Or
though,
they
is
leave a
because,
little note.
because most comics, even if you read one, let's say you read one from one same series, right?
Mhm.
And it's got like 20 issue run. In issue 1, it will set everything up for you, and by issue 20, they'll still be like, "Hey, this is this guy, and this is why he's important."
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's why I don't understand why, I guess, at least in Marvel's case, or even DC, why they would be like, everything that happened in the past, forget about it.
The problem is like for me was they just kept doing like soft reboots, which would just be like, okay, we're gonna stop the numbers, we're gonna start again at number 1, we're gonna act like this is the beginning of the story, even though it's like, because I would read Spider-Man a lot. That
Right.
was who I was mostly reading was Spider-Man and Deadpool. And it would be like, okay, Peter's already Spider-Man. He's an adult now. He's out of school. He's running a company. But now we're just going to keep restarting the story. We're going to keep erasing like the things that were set up, like these characters that were becoming important. Maybe they'll show up again in like 50
Mm.
chapters for a hot second, and then that's it. And it was just like, I don't care about this story. The story wasn't interesting either. Like, they weren't doing anything with these characters. They were just trying to stay within the confines of what the big events were happening, and they were doing too many big events.
And with DC, because I read more DC, their thing was like each time they did it was basically the universe just kind of got too convoluted. There was too much shit going on. There was like everything was just kind of really hard to get into. And so they were just like, fuck it, we'll make a big event. Bam, the universe has ended and it restarts just to like clean slate it. And then that's the reason they kind of did it every time, was it was just like there was too much shit. Like there were too many multiverses, like and too many
Mm.
stories and just too much stuff.
I feel like
And so
it's
they're like,
definitely.
let's just,
Try this.
Ugh.
and they're just like, okay, let's make it less. So then they did. Just try it.
Just try.
just
It's
go
it's
for
like
it.
a chocolate peanut butter beer. It's very
She's
very
trying
good.
some milk stout. That does not seem like a I like it face.
No, I don't
Oh, it's
like
so good.
beer. Ew,
Um,
ew. It tastes
Why,
like
what's that?
it tastes like mocha coffee,
Yeah.
That's a
which
Guinness's
I don't
daughter.
like.
What was that?
That's a Guinness's daughter.
No. Gunner's daughter.
Yeah.
Guinness's daughter. Yeah, it
Um,
tastes like mocha coffee and beer, and I don't like either of those
Yeah,
things.
there's it's coffee, chocolate, and peanut butter flavors.
Yeah, I don't
Oh
like
yeah,
that.
no, I don't like coffee or
Oh,
beer.
it's
So.
solid.
But so DC does that usually, but then you get things like New 52, and New 52 sucks.
I was gonna say it's just bad.
New 52
very bad.
is awful. There are very few comics that were good in New 52.
I remember how excited Eamon was for that. When that was going on, my buddy Eamon was just so freaking excited. He was like, "Oh my god, they're gonna be so good. There's so many new stories starting, and it's gonna be all these characters." And then it started, and it sucked.
Ugh.
It was bad.
New 52 was awful.
Big failure.
Yeah, there was very few stories that were any good. And then people kept complaining, so they're like, "All right, we'll keep New 52, but like we'll change it up." And so then they got to Rebirth, and Rebirth kind of fixed everything. It brought stuff in that people still wanted, like it made it made Green Arrow and Black Canary like a couple again. It brought Wally West back. It made Red Hood not suck for 25 issues, and then it started sucking again. Like it did a bunch of things. It fixed a bunch of problems, and Rebirth 2 was pretty good overall. Everyone was pretty happy, and then it started getting a little dog shit at the end. Oh right, technically it went from New 52 to DCU, and then Rebirth. DCU had weird robot exoskeleton Batman Gordon.
Yeah, Batman lost his memory, I think was what it was.
The
Yeah, so
fuck?
so Batman loses his memory after fighting the Joker basically to like death, and so Batman's gone, and so Jim Gordon dons a like bat robot suit,
Like-
shaves his head, and he like pretends to be, or he's not, doesn't pretend, he's like sanctioned like a police sanctioned bat suit. It has like GCPD
Why
on
do
the
you need to
side
shave his head for that?
because shut up.
Okay.
And
Man
he
does
wears,
what a
like,
man
fucking,
does.
Like he wears like a plug suit, like from fucking Ava, and
I
it,
want to see Jim Gordon
pull it
with
up,
his mustache
pull it
in a
up,
plug suit.
pull up Batman Jim Gordon. It's fucking dog shit. It's so bad. And,
That's really funny.
and then Rebirth happens and it fixes some shit. Superman goes from being a really shitty Superman that's just lame and loses his powers at one point and wears like just a t-shirt and like he kind of looks like a Superboy.
I was gonna say
Like,
like
yeah,
Superboy
yeah.
with just the t-shirt.
Yeah, but like really fucking lame. And it's just bad. It's just so bad. Then Rebirth happens. Things are good again. And yeah, so that's the bat suit.
We're doing a lot
Show
of
me-
anime talking.
Show me Jim Gordon's tushy.
I'm sure it exists.
Also, wait, I did have a question that is related to anime, but still
Okay.
also related to comics, if that's okay with
Yeah.
you guys. So you know, some people say it's really hard to get into anime because they don't know where to start.
Mhm.
But then, like, basically everybody who watches anime is like, oh, these are like the key shows you should definitely start with. Where it's like, I wouldn't say entry level shows, but shows that everyone knows, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
I would
like,
say just everyone shows that everyone knows that for the most part people like.
Yeah,
like, you,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
you could recommend Cowboy Bebop to anybody.
yeah,
yeah.
that's always like my first big recommendation for people who don't watch anime. And it's like, all right, this has not got like those anime vibes on it. It's just an animated show that's going to show you can get really good storytelling and really beautiful visuals and sounds and stuff out of
Yeah,
this.
like
Yeah.
Cowboy Bebop, Full Metal Brotherhood.
Yeah.
Like just like shows that are just good.
I
not-
always,
yeah.
I always throw the Devils as part timers because it's my favorite comedy.
Sometimes I'll give Shirobako.
I usually say Cowboy Bebop, Death Note, and if by somehow you haven't seen it, Avatar.
Or were you gonna ask what we recommend?
No, I was gonna say, like, is there an equivalent list before, like, Marvel or DC comics because I'm not like
Oh.
super into comics. You know what I mean?
I
I've read comics, but I've never like
think it's purely preference.
dived into
yeah,
it.
it would probably be preference, like depending on the people. Some people would probably say Watchmen is like a quintessential one to read.
Oh yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, I mean I would too.
Yeah.
What was I was just thinking one. I would personally just say Saga if you aren't against NSFW stuff.
That was a good one too.
But like, if
Yeah.
somebody was like, recommend me a Marvel or DC,
Like,
my
where
answer,
to
my
start?
answer
Where
would
to
just
start?
be, my answer would honestly just be pick up a comic, just walk into a store and see what you think's
Pick up,
interesting.
Just
or if you
anything?
want
just
like
it, just walk in and be like, this looks interesting, and just pick
Yeah.
because it's slightly a problem, but also slightly not a problem. Where with comics is you'll never catch up.
right.
There's just too much.
Right.
Like I'm not caught up.
I
Like,
mean,
just,
anime is kind of
like,
like that too.
yeah, like it's just there's a story, and like even if you picked up like Detective Comics fucking 1030,
Right.
like you might be in like a bit of a middle of an arc, but like it'll kind of tell you what's going on, and then you could be like, oh, okay, like
You get the
this,
general
yeah, like
gist.
this story started in 1020, so I'll just go get that one first.
a lot
Like,
of
stuff like that. It just
Right.
it really is purely preference. But like if somebody asked me like right now, and they were like, just pick a book, I guess I'd be like, yo, go read Robin, or because it just started and it's like it's good. It's just a good intro.
So for a long time, those comics were like specifically designed to be able to be read as if you had not read the rest of the story. You just picked up an issue because they wanted
Right.
to entice more people to read their comics.
More like episodic
Yeah,
kind of.
but like even then, I would say I agree with you that like you can literally just pick one up and start reading. That's what I did with when I started reading comics. I kind of just like.
That's how I did. Eamon just recommended stories to me.
But like first off, what happened, how I started doing that was a friend recommended me a story and I read that specific story, a specific run. What I did was Superior Spider-Man, which I don't think I would recommend anymore, but it was at the time I really liked it, which is Doc Ock takes over Peter Parker. We read that one.
Yeah.
But like, you know,
Interesting premise.
it's an interesting premise, and I do like Doc Ock as Spider-Man, as that character, like being forced to be a good guy and seeing how he differs. And it also has one of my
It
favorite
has
pages.
the best scene.
It has one of my favorite pages in all of comic books, which was when the Green Goblin was so sure that he could defeat, Doc Ock Spider-Man. He was like, I can beat him. I can outsmart him. I can outplay him. Whatever. It doesn't matter. And he has him like dead to rights, set to die. And he just makes a fucking comment to him. He's like, you can't beat me. You're not the one. You can't do it. And Spider-Man just turns, looks up, and is like, at least I'm not the one carrying a fucking purse. And he just narrows his eyes and he's like, it's you. Peter looks at him, the one and only. And that is how we know Peter's back. And it's like, yeah. And then there's a good fight. But
I thought you were gonna say the one where he punches Scorpion and almost fucking takes his jaw off.
oh my
and
god.
he's like, oh my god, he's been holding back the whole time.
Oh, that's such a good one too. When Otto realizes that Spider-Man has to hold back so hard when he fights people, and he's like, "Oh, I'm that fucking strong." There's also a time where
Peter Parker is legitimately one of the strongest heroes there is.
Yeah.
he just holds back because he's a nice guy.
Yeah, he's a good boy.
There's also a really great scene. So like because Black Cat and Spider-Man have a little, flirty thing.
Right.
Sometimes when she's robbing some place, if she sees Spider-Man, she doesn't just run. She stops and talks to him. So she's robbing a place. She sees Spider-Man come up and she's like, "Oh, are you here for BOOM?" And he punches her in the face and breaks her teeth. And she's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm arresting you." And he just leaves her and he's like, "Okay, the cops will be here soon. Bye."
Scandal.
And it was like,
These hoes ain't loyal.
these hoes ain't loyal.
My God.
But I do want to say a couple of recommendations on superhero comics before we get off this topic. Batman Year One. That's
Okay.
a solid one to read. And
I mean,
this is my thinking face.
do you want me to give out recommendations?
Give a
have-
recommendation
I
while I
have
think of
one.
another
Okay.
one. And then
All right.
But I can't remember the title.
don't. Oh, I thought you were gonna
Um,
say that one.
Okay, so I really only read DC, but I do have at least two Marvel ones that I can think of, which is Chip Zdarsky's Daredevil, And
Is that the one we read?
That's ooh, fuck.
Born
I forget
Again.
His name, but that's Born Again.
Oh, I
Different
love that one.
Incredible.
Zdarsky's Daredevil and Spider-Man Life Story.
Mm.
Both are really good Marvel stories. DC wise though, if you're looking for something new, Robin's really good. Superman, Son of Kal-El, and fucking Tom Taylor's Nightwing, because Tom Taylor is the fucking king, and he writes everything he writes is fucking golden. Also, that's a great way to get into comics too, is just pay attention to who's writing a story. And
Yep.
if you really like the story, just go look up other stories they've written,
Yeah.
and just start going that way. That's how I found certain things. Like, I read a Tom Taylor story, which back in the day was Injustice, and I really liked Injustice, so I looked up Tom Taylor and just started reading other stories he wrote.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like, just pay attention to who writes things. If you
You-
really like it,
You just reminded me of what my second recommendation absolutely has to be, and that is Tom King's The Visions.
Oh, that was so good.
If you enjoyed WandaVision and you're kind of like, ooh, this is an interesting vibe, this is an interesting story, please read Tom King's The Visions. It's one of the best comics I think I've ever read. Tom King is an incredible author, and you should read his other stuff. He has these 3 specific stories. That's one of them that kind of deals with grief in different ways, and they're all heartbreaking but incredible reads.
I will say, you can skip his Batman run though.
The Sheriff of Babylon, you shouldn't though.
Yeah, but
Oh, that was good too.
but
Yeah.
let's see what else.
Wait, I have
yeah,
one,
please.
but I
Oh
can't.
yeah,
I can only
I
remember.
was giving you time to remember.
Oh,
the name.
sorry. I really can't remember the name. I can just remember the visuals.
It's Mary Jane Loves Spider-Man.
Oh my God,
I
I
know.
swear
That's
to
what-
God.
I know that's what you want to
It
say. Your
was
favorite comic.
So awful. I think I read all 20 issues, or however long it was, and it wasn't worth it. It was
No,
bad.
I remember reading however many issues we had to read
It
for
was
Comic
5.
Book Club,
We refused
It was-
to even do 7.
and
Yeah.
I just couldn't find. I found myself being like, "What the fuck happens next?" And I was like, "Oh God, I don't care. Oh
I
God, this is awful."
I skipped to the last issue just to see if anything happened.
No,
and nothing
no
happened.
progression. But it's a Batman story where you remember where it was like a lot of like heavy black and white contrast panels, and he was like
Batman
stuck
the
in the
Damned?
cave.
Batman Damned.
Oh, Damned.
Is that one?
I believe so.
And he's like losing his mind.
Yeah.
Damned.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
it's Damned.
loved
Yeah, I'm
that
pretty sure
one.
it's
That one
Damned.
was so good.
Oh, that'll bring me to my DC recommendation. Batman: The Long Halloween.
Oh, that was a really good one too.
That was, I think, my favorite Batman story I've ever read.
Just because I'm a Jason Todd fanboy, the first 25 issues of Rebirth. But
No, don't you want to recommend the best Red Hood that we read? The best one. So
Anyway,
good.
Anyway,
So
oh my
good.
God,
Anyway.
which one was that?
we never should. It's New 52. That's why.
Yeah. It was
Um,
horrendous.
It's awful.
Or if not that, first, also still coming out, Batman Urban Legends is incredible. But the first 6 issues center around a Jason and Batman story, Jason and Bruce story, and it is really good. So also read that.
We really do a good job of explaining why people should read these.
It's just
Well,
so
'cause
very good.
I mean, I don't want to like.
You don't want to
No,
get
I
into
no,
it.
I understand. I'm
just
I'm
like,
joking.
Hey, if our words mean anything, go check them out. If you're not interested, don't. But like, I don't want to go in depth and be like.
I gotta say some manga now because I mostly read manga. And first off, Look Back is a one-shot that I've already said you need
Oh,
to
yeah, we haven't
read,
talked about
and I'm gonna just say it again. It's by Chainsaw Man's author. I believe it's Fushimoto.
While he looks it up.
While I look it up, and
Spy Family.
One Punch Man. Read One Punch Man.
Read Spy Family. It's such a funny, wholesome, good action. Like, what would you even call it? Like a comedy
yeah, it's like a comedy that
with
follows.
action, kind of.
It's about like the world's greatest spy, which is just like exaggerated 007
Yeah.
who is fake married to the world's greatest assassin, who's just a lovely dear who can kill you with a fucking glance, and their adopted daughter who is secretly a psychic and nobody knows except for her, and she knows both of their secrets, but they don't know she knows.
Wait, doesn't the dog know too?
And
oh no, the dog.
and
can
their
see the
dog who
future.
can see the future.
Right.
And it's wholesome. It's adorable, it's hilarious, and it's amazing, and you really, really should give that a shot.
Yeah, it's really cute.
Read anything by Junji Ito.
Oh, Junji
Ooh.
Ito's short stories. Just like grab a short story book and check those out. I have Venus in the Blind Spot. That's got some really fantastic ones on there. He is chilling.
The Chair was my favorite.
The Chair was my favorite.
It's the one. I found a lot of them to be kind of okay to me, mostly just because I don't think they necessarily grabbed me in the way I was hoping. But the Chair did. The Chair was the one where I was like, oh, this is the one I'm
I
looking
just feel
for.
like anytime it's like something about the visuals.
Yeah.
Even if, like, let's say the story doesn't grab you, you look at those visuals.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just,
absolutely.
It's a treat for the eyes.
it
every
is
time.
just chilling to look at.
Well, I mean, a
well,
lot of
treat for the
those-
eyes, I guess maybe not be the right word.
yeah,
But, like,
but I understand what you
yeah,
mean.
yeah.
Like, it's so, like, pleasing and interesting to look at.
even for the unpleasantness.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like has this layer of just like unsettling, like
Yeah.
creepy, unhuman vibe to
It's
it. You know?
Amazing. I love looking at Junji Ito's work. By the way, it is Fujimoto Sensei is the guy who wrote Chainsaw Man, and I think he's the guy to look out for. Like, everything he's been putting out lately has been
Do we
killing
know
it.
when Chainsaw Man 2 is coming out? Part 2,
The
whatever it's
next
called?
part, no, he's taken some time to.
Yeah, I know that.
He's taken some time to plan it out. I don't think we've gotten any information on when it's going to be. Right now, I'm just waiting for the anime adaptation, and I'm so excited.
If you're not reading it and you want to, honestly, My Hero's manga, kind of a fucking banger, dude.
This last arc has been fucking phenomenal.
Yeah,
like
it's a banger and a half, man.
Okay, I wanted to read it, but I was watching the anime, and I was like, does it pay to read it and watch the anime? If that makes sense?
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because I was worried. I was like, oh, I'd rather just watch it.
Right.
But no, it's fun because now it's instead of, well, it depends, right? Because it changes your dynamic for it. Like now it's like, ooh, I can't wait to see this animated. Where otherwise I'm like, I can't wait to just see what's next. So like, it depends on how you want to look at it.
Right.
You could join our weekly group chat of us all saying, "Did you read the chapter? Wow. Oh my God. Wow. I can't. Wow." And it's a lot of that. It's been that for like there was a couple times where we were like, it's a bit slow this week. What's going on? And then the next week's like, wow. Okay. Yeah. It's fucking going really
Yeah.
well.
Um,
I'm very pleased with how
read My
the story's been
Hero.
going.
If you want a little bit of a schlocky anime, like it's fun, it's enjoyable. Rosario Vampire. It's not even really an ecchi. I think I've talked about this before.
You did.
It's not really an ecchi. It's just the anime that really is. I mean, like there's some fan service, but it's not to the same level as the anime. It's just good, enjoyable fun for that old anime manga vibe.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 7 Steel Ball Run. I'll be sacrilegious. Just read it. Just read
Oh,
it.
because people say don't skip parts.
People say don't skip parts. I do generally believe that, but like, that's the one you absolutely can get away with just reading, and it's one of the most gorgeous looking manga I've ever read. That's where Hirohiko Araki's art just like hits that fucking pinnacle of him being a fucking master of his craft. And I mean, to be fair, in part 8, I think there's some stunning visuals that like really challenges it. But part 7, like the way you do of like this early 1900s American landscape is fucking awesome. And these cowboys, these fucking flamboyant cowboys, Gyro with his gold grill in like 19 whatever year it is, awesome.
I'm sorry, you just said grill, and something in my brain just like popped off. I was at the gas station the other day.
Yeah,
And
as you are.
no, this is important. And the guy like doing the gas, like pumping the gas.
The attendant.
Yes, thank you.
The man does the gas.
Yes, had a full gold grill,
Okay.
top and bottom.
Okay.
And I turned to Mark
Yeah, he's
and I
repping
said,
Gyro Zappelli.
just
He's-
like that.
he's repping
And
Gyro
I turned to
Zappelli.
Mark and I said, "Oh, that guy has a gold grill." And Mark was like, "That's kind of impractical to use for your grill." And I'm like, No. I mean like a grill for your teeth." And he's like, "What's that?"
Yeah, how gorgeous that art
I would
is, though.
argue they were more popular back when he was younger than they are now.
I don't know.
I mean, but he was also not in America.
That's true.
That's fair, I guess.
I don't know how
I don't think they're
popular they
really
were.
a thing in Jamaica.
No idea.
I couldn't tell
Absolutely
you.
zero.
I couldn't tell you anything about Jamaica, really.
Me
Yeah.
neither.
Anyway, I already said watch one. Read One Punch Man.
Yeah, read One Piece. Read One Piece.
One downside about One Punch Man is that there are really long breaks between each chapter. So once you catch up,
Ooh, is it just like, ooh, now I gotta sit around
I
and
caught
wait.
up like fucking I don't know, like a month or two ago. Still hasn't been a new chapter.
Ooh, ouch.
To be fair, I said it before and I'll say it again. Almost every single panel you could frame.
Right.
So like
So
I
it's
get
worth
it.
it to wait.
100%, I get it. But boy, when you're like, I just want to read more. It's so good.
Just
And
go
then-
read by one.
Yeah, I mean, I would. I did. I read the beginning parts of Mob Psycho by one.
That's cool.
I do want to read Mob Psycho because I actually don't know if that has a manga.
You know what actually is also just like,
Honestly,
I'll look that up. But you know what also
Yeah,
I
thanks.
just Jujutsu Kaisen is amazing. Jujutsu Kaisen, I used to be like, yeah, it's good. It's not quite Chainsaw Man, but it's good. It's become its own animal. It's fantastic. The last couple chapters
Should I
have been so
actually
good.
read it or just wait?
Yes, I think you should read it.
Okay.
It pops off immediately. Well, actually, immediately after season 1, you get like some really nice, fun moments, and then it pops the fuck off.
Okay.
Just
All right, fine.
Yeah,
I'll
pretty
read
much. And
Is it like close to over? I
I-
feel like I remember you guys saying that.
I'm not sure. I just also gotta say, like, this guy, I forget his name. Jujutsu Kaisen's mangaka. He is just the social commentary, and that is scathing. Like, the amount of stuff that's like generally not a thing you do in Japan, he is just saying it so loudly in his comic, and
Is
it's
this the thing that I thought you guys were joking about the whole comrade thing?
no, like Gojo generally comes across a bit like a communist. That's less of what I'm talking about.
okay.
But like comrade Gojo is a real thing. This isn't a spoiler. This is like something that happened in the most recent chapter, but it doesn't relate to any of the characters whatsoever.
Just in case. Spoiler.
Just in case, though, here's a minor spoiler. So a chapter opens up with a character we've never been introduced to, and it ends at the very, very last panel. We understand why he's there, but until then, we are introduced to a civil defense attorney. He is a defense attorney for just any general person who doesn't have one. I think is what his job was.
Oh, so he's like a public defender.
Yeah, he's a public defender. Thank you. I couldn't remember the phrase. And it's just him explaining what his job is and how he takes somebody who is clearly innocent and he goes about their case and he, helps them get off and he helps them say, okay, you are found innocent. But then how the government will then throw money at a lawyer to counteract it and get you arrested and get you to be found guilty because there's a 99.99% conviction rate in the country.
right.
Which is obviously a joke on Japan's 90% conviction rate in the country. And it's just a very scathing, like, this is why this system's so fucked up and why it doesn't work and fuck you. And it was like, the entire time I was reading the chapter, my jaw was on the fucking floor. I was like, he's just saying it. He's just fucking calling it out. I really respect this guy. And that guy being Akutami Sensei.
Fair enough. All right, I guess I'll read it.
Yay!
You don't sound too enthused.
Well, I really don't have time to be doing things, but
No, but you just add it to the pile and you
yet you
grit your
still
teeth.
do. You consume more anime, comics, and manga than I do, and
Than
you
both
have
of us combined.
significantly less free time.
I just, again, I said this before to you, where I was like, when it feels like I'm better at time management than the rest of you, that's scary, because I am so not a organized, coordinated person. And then like I'm like, oh yeah, do this thing, and like Colin or you will be like, I haven't had the fucking time to do that. I'm like, all you guys tell me is how much more I'm doing, and how am I having the time to do this?
I'm good at time management. It's just that if I need to do something, if I get home and I get into my bed, the chances of me
Well,
doing
don't get
something
into your bed.
You see that couch
0
over there?
out of 10.
When I sit down on that couch, it's 2 hours of me watching YouTube and not thinking.
Yeah, I got.
It's 2
I
hours of
need
me
to,
like I'm done. I'm turned off for the day.
I need to like turn my brain off and stop being.
I don't turn
human.
my brain off until 10 p.m.
No.
10 p.m. is when I'm like, okay, I'm not going on my computer anymore. Turn off. I'm gonna watch anime. I'm gonna read something. I can also read more because of I'm leaving tomorrow. I'm leaving my job tomorrow. I'm done. I read so many comics at work. So many.
You always gave me shit for not reading comics while we were at work, and I'm like, dude,
Like,
I'm
how
doing
can
my
you-
fucking
how can
job.
You read
You
and walk.
also said
How
you
can
had-
you read and walk?
It's not that hard.
Don't you think you're gonna trip?
No.
Oh.
It's what?
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Call me.
Anyway, but you would also tell me, oh god, I have nothing to do today.
Yeah,
and
but
you'd
I
say that for like weeks.
Yeah, but I can't just play on my phone. Like, I have to be in certain areas at certain times, and I can't
You
just...
were, like back in the pen for like forever. You could just read something then.
Dude, I can only, like, walk through there so many times before someone will walk through and look at me.
Yeah, but you could have done it. I'm just saying, like, if you wanted to, you could have.
I'm not having this argument with you. He just... if you didn't notice, Mike really likes to have arguments.
That's
I don't.
true.
I'm just saying, like, I had such a worse boss than you, and I can figure it out.
Yeah, but I liked my boss, and I wanted them to continue to enjoy me.
What?
Can I talk about K-pop for a second?
Yeah,
No.
please.
Please.
You haven't had a chance to talk to me about K-pop
Absolutely
since I
not.
left the job.
Yeah. So remember I was telling you about how I'm watching Girls Planet 999 right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
The bitch is still in, isn't she?
The bitch is still in.
This hoe.
Okay.
This hoe.
Okay. I'm getting to the elimination episode. I think
Mhm.
that's the next one. So it's gonna be the second elimination. 30 girls go. So
Wow.
originally it was 45 girls,
Okay.
right? So they went from 99 to 48, or something like that.
There's
right?
so many of them there. How do you make any impression?
Actually, okay. I was thinking about this because yes, you're right. There's so many of them. How do you make an impression? Where the first episode you get introduced to all of the girls, but they all like do a performance like in groups of, let's say, like you can do solo, double, 3, 4, and I think the most was 6 in one.
Okay.
So like variations of that. And they kind of like each of the judges will like give a little like tidbit of how they thought you were doing, right? But that happens so fast, and then immediately after that episode you go into the challenge, which is out of the 99 girls, they had 11 groups of 9, and they all had to do a song, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you weren't already ranked, let's say within the top 50 girls of the 99 based on just the judges, like this wasn't open to the public vote yet, if you weren't within the like say first top 50, you got like 0 screen time after that first episode.
Yeah, I bet.
And so I feel bad for the girls under the top 50 because my mind immediately just forgot about all of them
Bless you.
until they pulled some bullshit in the first like elimination where they were like, oh, okay, now we're gonna have like one cell of 3 because it's like they group the girls like one Chinese, one Korean, and one Japanese, right? You're in one cell, like you're a team.
Okay.
This in the first elimination.
Would you say that they were in the cell?
I hate you. In this first elimination, that's actually important because
These incels were important.
stop it.
Thank you.
Was important because the vote was based off of if you didn't like, let's say you had to vote on the group as a whole. So if your whole group didn't get the vote, you were out, all 3 of you.
Oh.
So if like, let's say one girl was like particularly weak and she got like, I don't know, like 20,000 votes, right? But the other 2 girls were really popular and they got like 100,000 votes each, she could skate on, like skate by, you know? But if everyone is mid-tier, you're probably getting out. You know what I mean? But the bitch is still in. And then in the second challenge, I'm getting attached to these girls. I'm like, no, there's going to be an elimination. And I know it's coming. And I know that some of the girls I like are not going to make it. And I'm just like, and then I keep seeing all this discourse online about Eugen, who was in CLC, Cube
Yep.
Entertainment. And they were all saying, like, why are like people weren't voting for her during the second elimination because people were saying like online that like she's already famous, she doesn't need the votes, blah blah blah, like she'll make it through. It's like, but it's based off of the public vote. That doesn't make sense. If nobody votes for her, she's not gonna make it, even if she's already famous. You know what I mean? Ugh, what a mess.
It just sounds like a mess.
It is. Also, it's really kind of annoying to watch because so you have girls speaking in Chinese, girls speaking in Japanese, and girls speaking in Korean. So they have Korean subtitles on basically the whole time. But then right above that is English subtitles the whole time. But then a lot of like Korean TV shows, like let's say like a variety show, in the editing they'll do like little like sound effects or like extra dialogue of like what someone's thinking, you know what I mean? And then you can't read the English subtitles because they're just drowned out by all this other text. And I'm like, I just, please.
I hate when they do that, when they like kind of force it on the actual video themselves instead of it just being like the closed captions comes up as naturally. Because then people can just choose what their language is for the closed captioning and you don't have to do that. And then have this screen filled with text.
In the video, literally, the bottom of the screen is Korean subtitles, English subtitles.
Like, I know you're just trying to look at these hot girls, and like that's making it difficult.
You know how hard it is.
So did they just have 99 perfect specimen of women like show up?
Yes and no. I would say that like some of the girls who came in were definitely like all the girls are very beautiful, but I feel like some of them were not as like with it, if that makes sense. Like they were less well-rounded.
Okay. Like visually?
No, like because in your first performance you're doing.
Oh, I meant like looks wise, like they're like the most drop dead gorgeous women you've ever seen, because that's like how it usually is in the K-pop. I mean, like if that's like your preference, because it's like whatever the ideal standard of beauty is, it's like they have to have in every regard.
Oh, you mean like all 99 of them fit that?
Yeah.
I would say definitely not. I think there's a lot of girls actually who look, in my opinion, very different and interesting, but I personally really like girls who don't like fit the ideal mold, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
like
me
I like
too.
girls with like more interesting features,
Like look like a fucking a regular person at some
Yeah,
point. I
like-
don't want to be rude to like people who are, you know, gorgeous
Like,
or whatever, but hi.
like Yeji from ITZY. She has like she has monolids, but also her eyes are like turned in, almost like snake-like kind of a look, and her face is like the only way I can
What's this girl's name?
Yeji.
Yeji, South Korean singer.
Yeah, Yeji. Go to images.
I'm going to images. Okay, she's very attractive.
But
So-
like, doesn't her face like make you think of a snake?
Okay, because you said it, and I can see what you're saying with the eyes, especially like with her
Can I see this?
eyeliner going off like that.
Because like they kind of go like
In.
Like the eye shape itself, because it's like more like downturned on the inner corner.
Sure.
I don't know. That's just always that was my immediate reaction when I first saw her in their
I don't
debut.
know. I've sat in front of you and Jardo doing the fucking like logo design shit, and you're just like 2 pixels over, that'll be perfect, like that kind of shit, and I'm just like, I have literally no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, whenever if Mike is on a call with Jardo and I, because we're doing stuff, I think he just completely checks out.
No, he's told me he does.
No, okay, but both times I have had one idea that
Yes,
finished it
one
perfectly,
useful idea per time.
and I don't give other ideas. It's the one idea.
Although I will be sometimes you have given us a couple ideas in total. Most of them were bad.
No, but you end up using them.
No. I mean like
There was one that I said in the beginning for our original logo, like for the logo we have now. I remember I said in the beginning, and you guys were like, "That's stupid." And then it was like 2 hours later, "Hey, what if you did this?" "Oh, that looks really good." "Wow, I said that like 2 hours ago, but okay." And then with the other one, I was just like, "Why don't you just throw some red in there?" And you guys were like, "That's stupid. That won't work." And I was like, "What if you just humor me for 5 seconds?" And you guys did it, and you were like, Oh wow, that works really well.
Wait, you know how like the other day you were doing graphics for something and you were like, Sage, why didn't you just tell me ahead of time? And I was like, because I like to see options. Like when Jardo and I are doing that, I literally need to see so many variations. And I'm always like, I'm so sorry, Jardo, I'm doing this to you, but I need to know.
Okay, so the graphics that you saw in the anime club for episode 15, right? So I made those because Kat said we should make them. So I did. And I made like the template for all of them, or for one of them, and then I sent it to our group chat. And I'm like, all right, cool. People can give me feedback before I make any more of all of the ones with their individual chibis and stuff. And Sage doesn't say anything. I think she thumbs it up, and I was like, wow, she didn't have any
No
critiques,
critique.
which she had on every single other graphic that you have ever seen on this show. And so I was like, cool, bet. I'm gonna spend the next 2-3 hours making the individual ones. Did that, and I sent it, and then Sage was like, oh, I have opinion. I was like, oh wow, Sage, I can't believe you didn't say anything. And she's like, oh, I have a lot of opinions. I just didn't want to type them out. And I was like,
Yeah, no, I literally,
why didn't you tell me
I
before
said
spent
to
3 hours
I-
making the more?
I said to Mike, I was like, no, I have opinions, but it's too much to type out, so I just want to tell you in person.
And I was like,
I started fucking cracking up laughing
was
when I
like,
saw
yeah.
that message.
I was so like annoyed.
You were
I
so
I
mad.
went to type stuff out and would delete it. I was like, it's not worth it. Literally, because I was like, I sent it, and you were like, I want to see options. I was like, they're all the same. None of them were different than the one I sent. And so I was like, now I would have to change all of the individual ones separately or copy it. It would all just take 3-4 more hours instead of adjusting the one that I sent earlier. So all of them would be the same. And I was like, and then they ended up staying the same anyway. So it's fine.
See, I'm considerate.
So what are you planning on doing tonight after this?
I would say go to bed, but I have a lot of work to do and not a lot of free time this week, so I have to finish editing episode 15.
Fun. Sage.
Oh, okay.
I'm probably gonna go to bed.
Fun. I think I'm gonna watch Gohan beat up a 6-year-old bug.
What?
Oh, okay.
I've been meaning to watch. I've been wanting to rewatch that fight for so long. And it's 2 hours long, and I'm like, do I have
Wait,
time?
a fight is 6 hours, 2
Two-
hours long?
Yeah.
The best climax Dragon Ball Z ever had. Gohan versus Cell.
But also, I think if you just watch like the fight scenes,
Oh,
it's a lot
is it?
shorter.
Is it?
No,
like
like legit. If you look on YouTube, Gohan versus Cell, it's just 2 hours, and I was like, I don't know
That's
if this
with
is.
the dialogue though, right?
Yeah, I want the
Oh,
dialogue.
I'm saying, like, okay.
Yeah, it's Dragon Ball. Why would I not want the dialogue? You think I just want to watch people punch each other? No, I want dialogue. I want people standing around looking really pissed off, going
I think that's the most accurate interpretation of Dragon Ball I've ever heard.
Yeah,
that's
sometimes
more
they do it
Naruto.
inside. Sometimes they do it at Kame House, and then they summon a dragon.
Sometimes they just do it out
Alright.
in the open.
The ghost.
The ghost is mad at us. They're telling us
It
we
happens
gotta
every
go.
time the episode ends.
Yeah.
It really does.
Yeah, the ghost knows.
Okay, fine. All right. Thanks for watching and listening to our dumb little podcast. Tell your friends. We need some friends and people to watch and listen.
Yeah, tell your
Um,
mom.
In the
Tell your
comments,
dad.
tell me what comic you recommend.
Yeah,
Oh,
or
that's a good
anime,
one. Or
or
anime
or,
or
I mean, or manga.
Just anyone.
Yeah, and if you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If you're listening to us, rate, follow, leave a review on whatever the hell you can review on. I don't even know anymore. Don't forget to follow our friend Anthony at Super Milkshake on YouTube, and Kat on Twitch at Kat the Moonstar. Do you people have anything to plug that happened to anything recently?
Yeah, we're gonna have Anime Club, which is Handshakers. Don't forget.
Fucking god, yeah.
Kill
Yeah.
myself.
12 episodes
That's
available on all streaming platforms, just for you.
2 episodes from now.
Can I plug my music that I made like 7 years ago?
By all
Sure.
means.
No.
It's on Spotify now.
No.
Yeah, it's on Spotify.
It's been on Spotify apparently.
LOL.
Anyways, thanks for coming by.
Hey, his band is North Runner.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Go give it a listen. It's
actually
actually
pretty
pretty good. I don't even like punk, and I kind of liked it.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyway, that's
Alright.
that's all I think.
Think so, too.
Check us back next week, and thanks for watching and listening.
See y'all later. Bye.
Bye.